We have ILIA TOPURIA taking on Charles Oliveira for the lightweight strap. Beautiful guard pass from ILIA TOPURIA. Once again, for me, I like to see different elements of somebody's game. Now, Charles Oliveira counters with a heel hook. Look, everybody's excited. Look at that. Look at that. Everybody's excited. Oh. But ILIA TOPURIA defends it, was showing that he has grappling IQ. When you look at frame by frame, Charles is actually in a better position to land his right hand. Just ILIA TOPURIA just landed that kill shot. And there is that kill shot. I'm curious how hard he hits. Guys, I think he is going to be not around for a long time. So you guys need to appreciate, watch him when you can, when he fights, because I see him fighting maybe 4 or 5 more times, and then he's going to retire. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We have another Void breakdown for you. Even though this fight was only 2 minutes long, a lot of stuff happened in this fight that I felt was pretty amazing, and this fight was pretty fucking badass. So I'm gonna break down this fight. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, and also hit the bell to go live. Now, for me, this was my fight of the night because I like a full range of mixed martial arts. You know, if I want to see the best of the best do kickboxing and Muay Thai, I'll go watch that. I like to see, you know, an athlete take the fight everywhere, and that's where this fight went. It went absolutely everywhere. So, but we have ILIA TOPURIA taking on Charles Oliveira for the lightweight strap. Now, the lightweight champion just vacated it. ILIA TOPURIA, he went up to 170. Now you have ILIA TOPURIA taking on Charles Oliveira. Let us get to it. Now, even though Charles Oliveira had the height advantage and the reach advantage, ILIA TOPURIA is able to find that jab. Beautiful jab to the body, beautiful to the head, shot to the head. And as we're talking about the reach advantage, 5'7" versus 74. 5'10", 74-inch reach. ILIA TOPURIA is 5'7", 69-inch reach. Obviously, he has the clear advantage of the reach and the height. He is a little bit older. ILIA TOPURIA is still young. He's coming into his prime as a man. A man's prime is like pretty much 30 to, like, you know, 34, 35. You're starting to lose it. But, you know, a lot of miles on Charles Oliveira. He's been in the UFC since he was 18 years old. As ILIA TOPURIA, he's just starting to get his stride as a champion. 155, 154. And as you guys know, this video is sponsored by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is a daily fantasy sports game you play directly from your phone or your computer. All you gotta do is go to your app store, download it on your phone, and use my promo code MIGHTY. Cool push going on right now. You play $5, you're gonna get $50 instantly, no matter what happens in your lineup. And then when you look at the lineup, they got things from mixed martial arts, CSGO, Rainbow Six Siege, in NFL, NBA, NHL, you name it, they got it. All you gotta do is play $5 and you're gonna win $50 for new users only. So make sure you guys lock in your picks at the right place, which is Prize Picks. Now, shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring this video. Let us get back to the breakdown of El Matador, ILIA TOPURIA. But obviously, Charles Oliveira had the reach advantage. Oliveira's most pro 46. I didn't understand what the hell that was. But, and there he is. He's so confident that he knows exactly what he's going to do. And I want to think that they can, like, strategize to look at somebody the way they fight and come up with a very, very good game plan and execute it without a doubt. Because the way he was hitting the jab, and then once Oliveira responded with hands, he went right in there. And Oliveira was doing a good job. I mean, he hit ILIA TOPURIA with some good shots. I mean, great technique from, you know, hands up, jab. He's slipping inside, right? So he slipped the 2 inside. Usually want to slip outside with the 2. You want to go this way instead of inside, but he slipped inside. Looks like ILIA TOPURIA is going to go 4 to the body or 4 up top, but I'm not sure what he did after that. But they were slinging and banging on the feet. It wasn't, you know, Charles landed some good shots against ILIA TOPURIA. Just ILIA TOPURIA just landed that kill shot. What's that on his knee? What is that? What is that? Looks like staff. Looks like, I wish I could zoom in, but I cannot zoom in. Interesting. That just caught my eye. What the hell that is? It's right there again, but there it is, a different angle. But they're both, he's always in a stance ready to fight. That is interesting. I'm curious what that is. Maybe he got stabbed. Oh, he's going to throw his right hand. Actually, no, that's not the same one because it's different. Let's see. Yeah, that's a different angle because there's no blood there. So this is probably the second time after they got up. So this is probably the first exchange. This is probably the second exchange where he knocks him out. Only reason why I'm assuming it's the second exchange because now there's blood there. And that blood didn't come until after he got back on his feet. But once again, feet are planted. Beautiful technique there. He's going to land that right hand. It's almost comes as like his right hand isn't straight. It's almost like a cock and it turns into a straight right hand. So, and he's also got his hands on that side too. Almost like he's throwing him into his right hand. Right there. And there's the exchange. Like I said, man, when you look at frame by frame, Charles is actually in a better position to land his right hand on ILIA Topuria, depending on when this exchange was happening. But he has the clear path to the right hand to land the ILIA Topuria. Frame by frame. But that nasty cut. I believe that nasty cut got open once they went to the ground, I believe. Right there. And that's, I believe that's when ILIA Topuria took a good shot. And Charles probably took a shot and probably went off the top of the head. But they were exchanging. And here's the thing. Each time when you watch Charles Oliveira fight, he always gets hurt in all of his fights. And that was the biggest thing in this fight is that he's going to get hurt. Whether he's going to be able to recover from getting hurt was the question. And he didn't recover because he got knocked out. He got flatlined. All right, now this was, like I said before, this is why I felt this is the fight tonight is because an athlete took it to a different realm, right? Obviously, Charles Oliveira wasn't, getting the better of the exchange on the feet. He was doing some good work, but he tried to use his size advantage against ILIA Topuria by locking up a body lock. And when there has to be something there. It might be an old scar, maybe old scar there, but. He's trying to body lock him. He gets both hands grabbed. He can use a bear hug. He can cage sweep. But when he goes for that throw, ILIA Topuria is able to use his hips and rebalance and land on top while Charles Oliveira ends up on bottom. Right here. Okay. So this was a sequence. He throws him. Boom. But look at this guard pass. I'm going to slow it down. He does a good job of guard passing. He's here. Right? He's here. He's not worried about striking. Right? If he throws a strike, I always tell people, he throws a strike, he's going to recover his guard and be stuck inside his guard. But instead of ILIA Topuria throwing a strike, what does he do? He passes guard. Beautiful guard pass from ILIA Topuria. Right there. Once again, for me, I like to see different elements of somebody's game. Whether you're going to take it there or not, I like to see it. That's my opinion. Not every athlete has to try to live up to my approval of if are they good or not. I like to see a full range of game. Beautiful guard pass from ILIA Topuria, right? Goes down, lands in side control, right? Almost kind of north-south. Right there. Beautiful guard pass. Each time Charles Oliveira has been hurt by other athletes, they want nothing to do with this part of the game. Not one fucking bit. They back up and let him get back in a shoot fight. He gets here, sinks his hips down. When he sinks his hips down, he's collapsing this arm. He collapses it, right? He could go this way, but he goes this way. It gives this arm an opportunity to do something. So he collapses that arm when he laces right hip. Like, this is the shit that I see that you guys don't fucking see. That's why I think it was fight of the night or one of the best fights, because there's so much going on. He's here. He goes this side to shut down Charles Oliveira's hand. Okay. Then he uses this hand to post this, to get some space to frame, to stop Charles Oliveira to try to go underneath there as he's smashing it. Right? He also has an underhook on this side. So he's beating this side too. Okay. There's that frame. Okay. He smashed it. Still trying to frame there. Get that space. Goes to the neck. Look, he's going to start working for the... Look, he's reaching in to the armpit. Right there. Beats that. Right? Now, he's got double under on the bottom. Very, very dominant position in grappling. Even in the gi and no gi, you get double under, which means nobody can go underneath you. Right? I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is, it starts from the feet. One person doesn't like it. They go to the clinch game, goes to the clinch game, goes to the grappling. Does it? Let me show you guys something. Do I have it in here? Let me show you something. Let me show you guys something. I've never showed anybody before, but this is kind of like how my brain thinks when it comes to fighting. Okay? You guys probably can't see it, but you guys can't see it. But essentially, this is show you guys a little part of it. I don't know you guys can see, but see this. So you see all these lines right here. This is the progression of how you guys can't see these lines, but one day I'll have to do a video on this. This is the progression how the fight should happen. This is the options, right? So the fight starts. You start to decide what you're going to do. Then it starts from striking. That's when the fight starts. Now from striking, the striking has to lead something. The striking either leads to you knock them out, or if you're not knocking them out, then you go striking to takedown to stand, back up. Then it goes back to striking. Then you go striking to clinching. Then when you get to the clinch game, you either go from a takedown or you pry them up and then you start throwing knees. Or it goes striking to takedown to knees. And then it goes to striking and takedown. Then you go pass guard. Then you go to a finish. Rear neck or choke. End of the fight. So this is the system that I look at when I watch people fight. If you're just going to strike with somebody, you're giving them the opportunity to strike with you. Right? You guys can't see that, but yeah. So this is kind of like what goes on my mind. And it's rinse and repeat. And you do it from southpaw position too. You do it from a southpaw position. So there's a little education like how my mind thinks when I watch fights. Okay. So sorry about the educational thing. Michael will cut that out every way he sees fit. But if he doesn't, then you guys will miss that part. So he digs in for an underhook. So he's working towards getting his submission game going right now. Right? So he's going. Plasma, and look, he uses his knee. Gets a crucifix. Working on trying to pin each part across. Now, this is a very dangerous position. I've had Kyoto Higuchi in his position. I submitted him from here. Very dangerous position for Charles Oliveira. All right? Now, Charles Oliveira counters with a heel hook attempt. If you guys don't know what a heel hook is, look, everybody's excited. Look at that. Look at that. Everybody's excited. Oh. Everybody's excited because he started to attack ILIA Topuria's knee. ILIA Topuria does the right job. He pushes the knee down in order to protect his knee so his knee could turn. Right now, where his knee is at and the ankle's here, typically you want to lock down the knee. I call it making an Oreo, depending on what it is, but this would be a vanilla Oreo, or we want to call it Brazilian, Spanish Oreo, German, Georgian Oreo. You have his knee. Basically, you have the knee, his leg, the knee, the leg, and then this is attached to the ankle. Let's just do a foot, ankle. Now, when you don't have a knee, a block, the knee can twist and turn. It can twist and turn, right? But when you put a block here and the knee stuck and the ankle twists, you tear all the ligaments in the knee. That's what Charles Oliveira was trying to do to ILIA Topuria. It's what Mikey Musumeci does to all the guys he fights. But ILIA Topuria defends it, was showing that he has grappling IQ. Once again, I'm like, this is amazing because think about it. It started striking, clinch work, took down, he reversed them, passed guard, went for a crucifix. Now Charles Oliveira responds with attacking the legs. That's amazing to me. That's like you're getting every piece of mixed martial arts. Now, right here, this is a very important part you guys don't realize because they're making eye contact. He's posting on his hand. He's still attacking the legs while ILIA TOPURIA is still trying to protect his leg, but he's keeping his balance. Like, this is like the complete full meal of mixed martial arts where they're both looking. If he tries to punch Charles Oliveira, he comes off his post. He goes back to this hip, which puts his knee back in a compromised state where Charles Oliveira can attack. Charles Oliveira is keeping this because he can elevate, and if ILIA TOPURIA makes the wrong move, he can attack the legs. That's why this part of the fight, I was in giggity land because I'm like, who's going to make the right decision? Who's going to make the wrong move? But that's what's going on here. For you guys to know, that's Charles Oliveira's foot because he still has a pinch on the leg. And that's ILIA TOPURIA's foot. Charles' hands right there. And I believe he still has that knee captured. But it was a great fucking fight. Like, even though it ended in the first round, great fight from showing the skills. Now, we've seen this time and time before. Charles here. He's usually here when he's hurt. ILIA TOPURIA allowed him up. Now, I think the reason why ILIA TOPURIA didn't follow me here is because he's engaged. He sees where he's at. He's got to get past the guard started from square. When he passed the guard, he was already connected to him. So it's easier to pass the guard when you're connected than coming in and trying to pass the guard like this because now his hands are in play. And then he also has his knees, his ankles, and his hips are in play. When he got thrown, he was already beating the shins, and he passed the knee, then he beat the hips. So that's why I think ILIA TOPURIA didn't want to engage in this aspect. He did throw some little kicks, but that's why he didn't engage. I feel that he didn't engage in that aspect of it. But time and time again, Charles goes here. Charles gets back to his feet and gets another shootout. There's Charles cutting his eye, walking towards ILIA TOPURIA. And Charles always goes to the edge of the void and fights from there. And there is that kill shot. Now, I will say the thing that was interesting is that ILIA TOPURIA was circling to Charles's power with the jab. He went, I think he went jab top. No, he went jab to the body, then jab up top. Pause. He comes in the void, 2-3, and that's the 2 that lands right there in the fucking, right on the neck, right on the collarbone. Just, I'm curious how hard he hits. For his power, usually people who knock people out at 145 or a different weight class below her, when they come to 145 or a bigger weight class, they really can't. The power doesn't transfer because they're fighting a bigger body. So, but don't forget, Charles Oliveira did fight at 145 at one point in time in his career. But look at that. He's out. And look who's ready still to fight. ILIA TOPURIA. Beautiful knockout from ILIA TOPURIA with the 3 landing on Charles Oliveira as he was going down. I have to ask Matt what he thinks about ILIA TOPURIA. And look at this. Just flat out sprawled. This man coming to save him. He's looking at him and he just laid out. Comatose. Laid out. Crazy. And then there he is following up the shots. Almost kind of reminiscent to... I thought about this. Let me show you what this reminiscent to. What it reminds me of. What does this remind you of, guys? Right here. What does this remind you of? Identical. Damn near identical as he would say it. Where are we at? We're gonna go right here. Let me see if I can make it smaller. Damn near identical. Identical. These two were probably the most rarest unicorn in the sport of mixed martial arts. Conor McGregor knocking out Jose Aldo, and then look at that. You have Charles Oliveira being knocked out by ILIA TOPURIA, and hands. Look how iconic this moment is. Just for the sake of, You have two guys coming into the game, doing what they do. Where the fuck's my epic pin at? Sorry, guys. Just trying to make this best I can. Look at the Brazilians. Hand on the stomach. Hand on the stomach. Hand in the air. Hand in the air. Laid out. Laid out. When I saw this, I was like, this looks just like Jose Aldo knocking out. Jose Aldo getting knocked out by Conor McGregor. History repeats itself. You have a unicorn in ILIA Topuria. He is something truly special. And then there's a lot. That's the shot that knocked him out. I mean, not knocked him out, but just put a hole. I mean, I talked to Guru about this. Like, that's the worst shot that somebody could take is when your body's not defending itself. It's totally in that state of like just frozen. And there's ILIA Topuria. He said he came, he saw, he collected a check, he collected his belt, and now he's out of there. Undefeated still. And I mean, when you look at this, ILIA Topuria is such a sniper. Fucking lost in my prize picks. 21 significant strikes. 24 at 32. I mean, Charles Oliveira landed some too. Takedowns. Yeah, I wish any takedowns or reversal. So yeah, no takedown. But I mean, the last 3 fights of ILIA Topuria has been 3 knockouts to some very, very high level athletes. Very crazy. Yeah, like I said, Charles Oliveira 17-0 knockout. Max Holloway knockout. Alex Volkanovski knockout. He knows he gets to a certain Spartan. He gets to a certain part of the fight. He gets his feet set and then he throws. And I'm happy they let him do this because he truly is the 145-pound champ and the 155-pound champ. Where I hope when Islam wins, Islam does the exact same thing. He has his lightweight belt. And he has the welterweight belt. And then those two can have a clash. And they can meet at fucking 160 and fight for all the belts. That'd be dope. ILIA Topuria. And this is what Charles says. He goes, my apologies. It's been many years doing what I love. Tonight wasn't how we wanted it, but it's part of it. And as God wanted, I'm fine with a few stitches, but it's part of it. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to everyone for the energy, support, and affection for me. I'm going to go home and see what happens next. What would I like to see next happen to Charles? Maybe another fight and call it good. He's 35 years old. He's been fighting since 18. He's got plenty of money. He's got a great program that he's helping the children out with. Why not? You know, he just got a concussion. He just got rocked. I mean, like I said, I think we've been in the game for that long. You have beautiful wife, beautiful kids. You got an amazing program for the little children. I would say just relax and ride off in the sunset, man. He has plenty of things to keep himself busy. Right here, Paddy Pimblett. I would love to see this matchup. They brought Paddy Pimblett in the octagon. I'd love to see this matchup, but before that matchup, I'd like to see the number 1 contender, Arman Tsarukyan, get his opportunity to fight for the lightweight strap against him. And this is the funny thing. Dana White talks about him missing weight. And then there's something that comes out saying that, I guess, the last fight he pulled out in January against Islam Makhachev was not due to a back injury. It was due to he wasn't going to make weight. I don't know how much weight Alba put on that, but he's proven that he can make weight. He just made weight. It was never supposed to be Charles. I can finish ILIA, simple as that. And he knows it too. That's why he's avoiding the real number 1 contender. I will see this fight, whether he was avoiding him or not. Now you have Arman taking on ILIA Topuria. I think that's the fight you make happen next. And it'll be interesting because Arman's good. He's very athletic. He's big. And he's going to relentlessly wrestle against, what's the gentleman's name? ILIA Topuria. Now you have the 125-pound king and the 155-pound king. Look at these boys. Kings of kings. Both sharing a moment. Yeah, if these two fight, ILIA Topuria wins. But great night for Alex Pantoja and great night for ILIA Topuria. Both finishing their opponents in a title fight. And there he is again, ILIA Topuria. I'm excited to see what's next. Once again, guys, I think he is going to be not around for a long time. So you guys need to appreciate, watch him when you can, when he fights, because I see him fighting maybe 4 or 5 more times, and then he's going to retire. Because what this man is on the path to do, nobody has ever... There's only been a couple guys who've done it. But when they do it, they tend to get away from it, and they tend to go do something else. I would hope that he would stay the path, defend the belt at 155 a couple times, then maybe go up to 170, try his hand there, just retire. So, boys, if you guys enjoyed this breakdown, please leave a like, subscribe, and also hit the bell to know when we go live. And make sure you guys check out the Mighty Guru pod. We just dropped that. I think you guys will love it. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.